Hello and welcome to the Comic School, and today we look at Batman Year One. This is the comic school I never had, the comic school that maybe doesn't exist and now exists. And this lesson is called Comic Recommend. I will show you how this comic influenced my comics, and we will take a look at a quote from Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino, a guy I identify a lot with, said, "I never went to movie school, I went to the movies." And that is what you should do. And that is why we will take a look at comics. I will try to keep this videos always at the 10-minute mark. And this comic, I didn't see it coming. Like, this really changed my life. I looked inside it and I thought to myself, man, like, looks kind of boring and dull, but it's not that. It was really influential on me. So influential that I stole some scenes and put it in my comic. Just that. I just stole the scenes. But you can also say that I quote them. So we will take a look at this in a second. Frank Miller, David Mazzucchelli, Batman Year One. I don't know how I came to know this comic. I don't know, maybe if kayfabe was already there, but it must have been the year. It must have been pre-2016, because I guess in the May 2016 I was doing my comic, and I will show you the influences. But as you can see, like this scene where the guy walks there, I took a lot of scenes from this book because just they were so great. Let me search for the scene. Come on. It's where Batman goes into the city. I'm already spoilering, but yeah, okay, we will see that. No, come on. Or let's say, just to show you, look at this scene and look at this scene. Like, I took so many from this comic book. It's incredible. Like, look at this face and look at this face up here. I just stole that for my comic. And maybe so should you. And maybe so did others. And as you get better and better, like, you will come up with this stuff pretty naturally. Like, and look at this scene. Like, look how much I owe to this comic. We will come in a second to it. Let me show you another scene, just that you understand, like, do I rip off other comics? Pretty much yes, when I'm a noob. And when I then have a lot of experience, or am already a bit experienced, I just do my own thing. But look at this. And I don't know if you can say that I just stole it. I mean, I did, but it's also a quote. It's a direct quote, and I love it. I have to say, like, this is the only thing I stole, and then the rest I came up with. But this is like from the Lord Humongous, from Mad Max 2, and I will show you this scene because it's important. We will go in a second in the comic book review, but what I'm telling you is, like, this is a comic school. And so, if you want to learn to do comics, read comics, love them, study them, look what you like. Like, for one time I had I bought myself the Court of Owls from Snyder and Capullo, and I kind of hated it because, like, the drawings were really great, but I found that Snyder's writing was so pretentious, and that's just my personal taste. Like, you can love it, and yeah. But look at this. Hotel Edwards. I replaced the pimp with a hooker. I replaced the guy here, fat guy, with a burger. I replaced this car with a futuristic car. I replaced this star with a Russian star with a burger sign, a sign that says Tech Noir from Terminator 2, and everywhere. These are the Zeppelins from Watchmen, and here you have a cyber heaven, and here it's adults only, because like this is 60s, 70s, 80s Gotham City, and this is a dark cyber retro noir future like in Blade Runner. And so I don't know, maybe this panel is also from something. This is from RoboCop. But now, sorry for rambling on. We will look into the comic and why this comic influenced me so much. I didn't expect much. I don't know. I kind of saw the comic. Then I started reading, and this is how it starts. And David Mazzucchelli, I didn't know nothing about this guy. And then it starts. Great scenes, muted coloring. Bruce Wayne is coming back to Gotham, and Commissioner Gordon is coming back to, or is taking over in Gotham City. And this is pretty cool, because like it's like a movie from the 80s, 90s. It's about corruption, it's about a cop. And as you can see, like the drawings, pretty cool inks on paper, and then pretty much flat coloring. I like that, because I'm also, when I was young, I wanted to do comics. Then when I thought I couldn't do comics because there was no fucking comic school, I went to movie school. And I was always into movies and comics and storytelling. But then I was always into Robert Rodriguez, and I got his book, Rebel Without a Crew. Not a great book, but that was what I could afford and what I had. And he said, be dangerous, be the editor, be the writer, be the cameraman, be everything. You don't need to be everything. You can do it all on your own. But sometimes it's very powerful if you can do something like this, like let's say in an era today where you make something like this, and then somebody notices you, and then you can cooperate with other people. Like that's maybe a very valuable step. And look at this, like no panels, great mood, not enough, just gray and white, and this panel tells it all. Like Bruce Wayne comes back to Gotham City and visits his parents for the first time, and I got just goosebumps, like this is it. And Commissioner Gordon, seeing how other people are, like the cops are operating, that they're corrupt. And this style also, like this comic should maybe also feel like a comic from the 80s and 90s, and that's why they work with brush and this coloring palette, because they want to make it look like an old comic. So now we get to the flashier stuff. It's a really great comic story-wise. Like Frank Miller is really cool. Like it's very thought out. Like Bruce Wayne is hiding in his Porsche, and he's getting dressed up to look like a bum so he can clean up the streets. Like he has no idea that he's going to be Batman. He just knows he wants to do something else. And then Commissioner Gordon wants to fight the corruption within the police, but then they beat him up. So it's really amazing. And then once I was on this page, I was really sold on the colors. Look at these colors. Like this looks like, I guess this is Taxi Driver with De Niro, I guess. And if you look at these times, like it's always the inability to cope with society and with the times, and everybody's filthing, nobody has moral values, everything is decaying, you don't know how to meet your needs, loneliness, alienation. And these are very, very, how do I say, things that are happening in our times every day. And I guess it has something to do with us not being tribal anymore, and with a society we have created. It's an industrial society, so we lose humanity. And this is always why I tend to to love making noirs, why I'm always into, like, we turn systems and we make systems and we lose humanity and we become machine-like, surveillance-like, brutal, dehumanized. And then look at this colors. I mean, look at the fight scenes, look at the layouts. This is definitely a recommend, but also whatever you like, whatever you're drawn to, whatever you resonate with, study that and make your comic like that, because you will learn to play like the guys you love, and that is really important. And I was listening yesterday to a guitar guy, and he said, just pinpoint 5 people you love and study them, because otherwise you water down. And for me, it was definitely this comic, not especially Mazzucchelli, because this is the only comic I have, but this comic, this coloring, like, look at this. And again, this is my interpretation of that. It's different, but this is where I took this from. And it's just... yeah. I want to keep the video short, so maybe you could go check it out, but it's a really amazing comic. I cannot overstate it. This was so influential on me. Like, in the back you will find the original pages, how they looked. Like, this is the blown up sketches, or maybe, like, no, you can see these are the inks on paper. Look at this. This is real ink on real paper. This was planned out, and I will show you in a second. Look at this. This is like all Frank Miller script into David Mazzucchelli's pencils and layouts, and just, this is how you do a comic. So get this, study this, take your time. It takes time, and that is why so many people, that is why I want the art of comics to come back, because I guess it has died. It has died because of the internet, because not because of the internet, but, you know, making things takes time, and making things right takes time. And we live in a society that values Amazon, fast delivery, I want it now, I want this watch, I want this person, I want Tinder, I want an adventure. We look at social media, but this is what life is really like. Life takes time, life needs time. You gotta think about it, you gotta hone it, you gotta work on it. Does it mean that you take a year to make a comic? No, please, no. Like, make your mistakes fast. Don't take 10 years. Like, just practice, and you will see, like, things do need time to plan out and to make. It always does. Like, this is like, look how many things went into this. Like, they sketched it all out. They made mood boards. This is David Mazzucchelli, I guess, when he was little and he planned on doing a Batman comic. And then when he did some sequential pages to get into comics, this looks different. And then, yeah, here you can see the panel we saw. Yeah, I love the colors. Like, look at this. It's just a purple, a green, a yellow. Amazing. Like, you don't need more. And the action in this comic is brutal. The drama in this comic is brutal. The human element. People have to think their way out of things. Like, here, Batman faces off against the police, and he's just one man, and he can't punch them all. Like, he has to outwit them, and that is what I love. Like, that is why this is great, because it's not just muscles and Mary Sue's. The stakes are high, and this is what I love. So I want to wrap this video up. Get this comic if you don't have it. Study it, enjoy it. Go back, make your own comics. Please, please, please make your own comics. If they suck, that's okay. They will get better with time. Just stick at it, and remember, dreams don't have a deadline. You need a plan to make them happen, yes, and you keep at it. But yeah, dreams don't have a deadline. Make comics.